A.REI.3. This is Algebra, Reasoning with Equations and Inequalities, Part 3, Video 3, Solving Multi-Step Equations. Please pause the video and add on the new term in blue that I've given you. You should have the other terms already in your journal, and define the distributive property. Today we are going to continue the process of solving equations for a variable. We've done one-step equations, we've done two-step equations. Now we have a multiple or multi-step equation. Same idea, we're going to combine like terms. We're going to perform the order of operations if there's any distributive property available, and we're going to solve for the given variable. Let's begin by drawing the wall down the equal sign. So we've created a left side and a right side of the equation. Looking on the left side, are there any terms that we are able to put together? Any like terms? I see 5 and 3. Those are my constants. So 5 plus 3 is 8. And that's as far as I can go on the left side. And now I look to the right side. It appears as though I still have constants available to put together. I have an 8 and I have a -7. So do the inverse operation of the sign in front. The sign in front of the 8 is positive, as we've learned. So to undo this positive 8, we're going to subtract 8 from both sides. And the right side, subtract 8. And we have -15. Last step, we have a coefficient of -3 touching the variable, so we do the opposite of multiplying, we divide. So A is equal to +5. And go back with that 5 into the original problem, substitute it in wherever you see an A. Perform the math according to the order of operations and make sure that the left side is equal to the right side, which is -7. All right, on the right side of the equation in the next problem, I see parentheses. So according to the order of operations, we have to make sure that we can't put any of this together on the inside, these two terms. So since I have a 6 and a -2c, those are not like terms. We are not able to subtract those. We have a constant 6 and we have a coefficient term of a -2c. Looking at the parentheses, I do find a number on the left side that's touching the parentheses, and that number is -3. Make sure you're aware that it's not a +3 because of this sign right here. So we have to use our distributive property inside of our parentheses. So we have -3 multiplied by 6 and -3 multiplied by -2c. Next step, making sure that we combine all like terms. Let's look at the right side for right now. I have a 3c and a +6c. Make sure you bring the sign in front of the terms. So +3c plus 6c is 9c. And now we have our basic two-step equation left over here. So I have to get rid of this -18 as you've learned, so we're going to do the opposite and add 18 to both sides. Here we've gotten rid of our 18s on the right and we're left with 9c. Divide both sides by 9. It's pretty robotic right now, I think, for you. So C should be equal to, I didn't plan that. Both of them happen to be a 5. Go back and check. Make sure you substitute into the original problem. Wherever you see a C, put that 5, do the order of operations, and make sure that it checks out. You always ask for fractions and decimals. Those are confusing for you, so I've set up 2 of them for you here. On the left, we have fraction touching parentheses. So you can do one of 2 things. You can distribute the 2/5 to each term inside, but I'm going to teach you a quicker trick so you don't have to do all that fraction work. We've learned to get rid of a fraction when multiplying by another term. In this case, your term is 9 minus 2b in parentheses. Just multiply both sides by the reciprocal of the fraction. So we have negative 14 over 1 multiplied by the reciprocal of 2 over 5, which is 5 over 2. And you're doing that to both sides. Here's your original right side, and then to get rid of this 2/5, let's multiply it by 5 over 2. So on the right, your 2's will be canceling, your 5's will be canceling, and you're left with 9 minus 2b. We can cancel here. 2 goes in 1 time, and 2 goes in negative 7 times. And negative 7 multiplied by 5 is negative 35 over your 1's, so we have negative 35. Here's your wall. We have to get rid of this 9 on the right, so we have to subtract 9. We have to remember that this is a positive 9, so we look at the sign in front. So subtracting 9 would look like this. And subtract 9. So we have negative 35, take away 9 is negative 44, equaling, these are now zeros, negative 2b. Divide both sides by the coefficient, which is a negative 2. So b must be equal to positive 22. Go check that. Decimals. I still have a distributive property. Check inside your parentheses and see if you could put those 2 terms together, and that you cannot because they are not like terms. So on the outside I have a positive 4, and we're going to distribute to each term inside. All right, 4 times 2 and 1/10, so go off to the side here. 2 and 1/10 times 4. So we have 2 decimals, so move it over 2 times. 1, 2, it should be 8 and 4/10. 4 times x is 4x, and negative 8/10. Couple ways you can do this. If you want to stick to the decimals, that's fine. If you want to take my idea of clearing the decimals from the last video, that might be a little easier in this situation, and that's what I'm going to do. The highest decimal value or place value that you see in this problem all the way across the terms is the 10th position. 10th, 4.0 is in the 10th position. Okay, so I'm going to multiply all of my numbers across all my terms by 10, and that's going to move it 1 time to the right. And draw the wall, and let's start combining like terms. These 2 values, Signs are opposite, so we're going to have to do some subtracting and then take the higher absolute value sign and the answer. So off to the side, no calculators, 112 and 84, subtract. So we have 28, and we're going to have to take the absolute value of both numbers and steal its sign. So we have negative 28 and here we go, just like robots, get our like terms together. So we're going to add 28 to both sides. These are gone. So 40x is equal to negative 8 plus 28 is 20, positive. Divide both sides by 40, your coefficient. So x should be equal to, reduce your 20 over 40, which is 1/2, positive. Your turn. Please find the value of x for the triangle when given the information of the perimeter and the values of the line segments of your triangle. So you have 3 line segments and they give you the perimeter of 24 feet. So please pause the video and try to find the value of x. We are back. So perimeter means add up all of the sides. So I'm going to take each line segment and add them up together. So I have x plus 4 is my first term. I'm going to add that to 4x. I'm going to add that to my third term. And I'm going to set all of that equal to what? What is the perimeter that was given to you for this problem? The perimeter was given the sum of these 3 legs to give you 24 feet. So look for a distributive property. I do see parentheses here, but there's no number. There isn't any number on the left side to distribute. So let's move on down to the right. And I do see a distributive property on the far right. So let's check out all these terms. There's my x plus 4. Here's my second leg. And now let's distribute. So I'm going to get positive 10x, and positive 10 times negative 1 is negative 10, equaling 24. Here's my wall. I have a lot of terms on the left, so let's see what I can put together. I'm just going to put the x's together first. It doesn't really matter, but I'll do the x's. So I have 1x plus 4x plus 10x. Now notice I circled the sign in front of all those numbers just to remind me, I could draw this one in, that I'm going to be putting those signs together. So 1x and 4x is 5x, 5x and 10x is 15x. All right, now I like to use, so I use circles there. I'm still on the left side. I'm going to just take these in triangles. So I have a constant of 4, and I'm still on the left. I have a constant of 10. So read it from left to right. Positive 4 minus 10 is negative 6. And that should be equal to, still on the right, 24. It's time now to jump to the other side with our terms. I see that I have a negative 6 constant on the left and a 24 constant on the right. So let's do our two-step equation here. Opposite of subtracting 6. So 15x minus 6 added to 6, and 24 added to 6. I think you're with me here by now. So 15x is equal to 30. So we have now found the x value of being 2. Now, if you want to find out the actual measurements of each of the three legs, the problem didn't ask you for that, but you can do this. X is equal to 2, so you would just come back into the problem and substitute a 2 in wherever you see them, and you can find the measurements of each of these sides. So it looks like this side would be 6 feet. 4 times 2, this would be 8 feet. And this one down here, 2 minus 1 is 1 multiplied by 10, so this would be a 10-foot measurement. Now again, I said the problem didn't ask for the measurements of each side, it just asked for the value of x, but that's how you would solve the rest of that problem. In your journals, on page 2 of the flip chart, I gave you a new term to know, and it was I don't even remember what that was. Go back to page 2 and define the new word and write any sentences that you think you've learned about this video, and ask questions. Always ask questions in class. This video is just meant for instructional purpose so that we can work together in our groups and small groups individually with me. See you in class.